Hey, what's up guys, Jaeky here. Today we're going to be checking out the Mellitrix Zoom65 V3. If you guys remember a while ago, I reviewed the Zoom65 by Mellitrix, which is a 75% Hall effect keyboard, and that keyboard was amazing. The sound out of the box was one of the best stock keyboard sounds I've ever heard, and overall it was just a solid keyboard. The Zoom65 V3 is also an Enthusiast board. It comes with all the bells and whistles. It's QMK compatible and VIA compatible, and there's a bunch of different add-ons and accessories that you can add onto the board to really customize the experience to your liking. So the starting price of the board is 169 USD, but that price will change depending on what add-ons you choose. So depending on how you want to customize the board, that price will vary. And trust me, there is a ton of different customization options. You can choose different backplates, external weights, and there's also a modular section where you can swap out magnetic badges, knobs, and just in case you're curious, here is the exploded view of the entire board. This board does support 2.4 GHz wireless, so if you are wanting to use this board wireless, you can do so. If you are interested in checking out the Zoom65 V3, the group buy for this board is on June 18th. Okay, with that out of the way, let's go over the unboxing and I'll go over all of the accessories that were sent out to me and we will assemble the board as well. So keep in mind, a lot of these accessories that were sent out, you will have to purchase separately and that will add on to the cost of the board. The default accessories that come with the keyboard are the case, backplate, external weight, plate, PCB, and an LCD screen. All of these other separate modules you will have to purchase as add-ons. So let's start here with the telescope module. It comes with some screws for you to install it, obviously, and that's the telescope module. I personally chose the lavender color for the case, but as you can see, there's a ton of different options for you to choose from. Here's the key module. So this slots in and you can just put a switch on top of this and a keycap obviously, and that will just act as an extra switch. So this is nice if you want to bind it to something to use it as a macro key or whatever, you can do that. So if you want to be a little bit more functional, you can choose something like the key module, and if you want something for aesthetics, you can choose like the telescope module. So this badge module here is really cool. This is a magnetic, so basically what this badge module lets you do is you just attach this part and then you screw in this part as well, and this is magnetic, so you can change out the badges magnetically so you don't have to unscrew it every time. So you can see this just sticks on here magnetically like that, and you just screw it into here. So that's the badge module there. And now all of these are different mounting options. So you have a ton of different mounting options with this board. You can choose between a short arm spring mount, a non-load bearing spring mount, a split O-ring mount, magnetic levitation mount, a silica gel particle mount, top mount, or a floating pogo pin mount. So there's a ton of different options to really dial in the specific sound that you want with your board and typing feel. Some of these mounting options will be a softer feel and more flexible feel than others, so you can really choose between all of these and dial in which one you want. Okay, so here's the carrying case of the keyboard, and inside of here there's a ton of other stuff too that I need to look over so I can assemble the board itself. Here is the case, fully aluminum. Like I said, I chose the lavender one. The lavender is anodized, and here is the LCD screen. Like I said, you can choose between a ton of different options. This one in particular has the LCD screen. There's also a case option with LEDs on the side of the case. I chose the one without. There's just a default cable that it comes with, USB-C, braided. And on the top here, we have a bunch of different plate options. Like I said, these plate options will be add-ons, so you will have to choose one plate. But this really just goes to show the amount of customizability options that you have. This is the PCB right here. And one last thing that I want to show you guys is the keycap set. So I did, like I said, get the lavender case, so I was provided with the lavender keycaps. As you can see here, this is what they look like. Really nice. And here are the accent keys as well. So yeah, really nice. I'm going to assemble this now. Okay, I just want to give you guys a quick update on the building progress here. So I decided to use the polycarbonate plate. And it's very simple. So these stabs are plate mounted, and really all you have to do is just assemble it accordingly. So you have your PCB, and then you have two foams that I decided to put in. So you have two foams here sandwiched between the PCB and the plate. And then you have another foam that goes on the back here. So you put your stabs in, and I'm not going to be doing a sound test of this keyboard, just a forewarning. And the reason for that is because I actually don't have any good switches. I have some unlubed switches that I'm going to put in this just to showcase the board. Another reason why I'm not doing the sound test is because these stabilizers in this version that I was sent out, these are not the stabilizers that are going to be on the actual production release of the keyboard. So it's just really not in good faith for me to do a sound test because these are not the official stabilizers. Plus I have nothing lubed on the board. So yeah, I'm not going to be doing a sound test, but if you guys build this board properly and you lube up everything, like all the stabilizers, and you have some nice quality switches that are lubed, then this keyboard is going to sound incredible. But I'm not going to be personally doing a sound test just because I don't have anything in this board lubed. But just going over like the building experience, it's been pretty nice so far. Here's the bottom housing of the board, and here's the top. So this actually is very nice. There's no screws that you need to unscrew in order to pop off this top housing. All you do is just, it latches on with a quick latch system. And so you just push down on the bottom plate and it will just release. You can see there's little grooves on the side here that latch on. And so you don't have to screw anything on, which is really nice. And then another thing is this little connector right here with this ribbon cable is magnetic. And so you can see here, it just attaches on magnetically. And so when you're plugging this ribbon cable into the PCB, you can do it separately, and then you just hover the PCB over and it will just be magnetic. So that's very convenient for when you're building the board. All right guys, so I ended up choosing the leaf spring mount. You can see all of these installed right here. And so you can kind of see here what I was talking about earlier with the magnetic ribbon cable. So you just put the ribbon cable in there, super simple. And then when you're ready to attach the PCB, you can just literally put it right here and it will snap on just like that. So it makes installing it very simple. You don't have to, you know, mess around with getting the ribbon cable in there while like keeping the PCB close to the board. But one thing I want to touch on really quickly here is how you can swap out this module. So obviously mine has the LCD screen by default, but what you can do is if you purchase the additional modules and you want to swap them out, you can see those screws there that you unscrew, and then you can just replace it. So if I wanted to use like the badge, the magnetic badge, for example, then obviously all I would do is just take the badge here, and you can see how the corner piece fits on there perfectly. So you just take out those two screws right here and here, and then this piece will pop out and you can replace it with any module that you like. So if I wanted to use the badge module, that's how I would replace that. All right guys, so here is the board. I don't have the switches in yet. Like I said earlier, I'm just going to be using some placeholder switches that I have. They're not lubed or anything. I'm just using them as a placeholder. This is what it looks like. All that's left is to pop in the switches, put on the keycaps, and then that's pretty much the full assembled board. So I want to go over the aesthetics really quickly. Here's the lavender color, USB-C port in the middle. On the bottom, there is this is a magnetic badge right here that you can take off and replace with another logo if you wish. The 4 rubber feet you do have to put on yourself. I was provided with a pair of black rubber feet and white ones as well, and I chose the black ones just because I think it fits the board a little bit better. So that's what it looks like right there. And yeah, overall the building experience was pretty easy. It took me around 30 minutes to fully assemble this board. Obviously, if you are building it yourself, you're going to have to get your own switches, and if you're lubing your switches and also lubing the stabilizers, it might take you a little bit longer to do all of that. So yeah, let me put in the switches and the keycaps and we can take a look at this board fully built. All right guys, here is the look of the completed Zoom65 V3. Looks absolutely incredible, and this can easily be an Endgame Enthusiast keyboard. If you're a fan of that 65% layout and you're looking for a Enthusiast level keyboard with tons and tons of customization options in terms of mounting, plate choices, color options, the Zoom65 V3 is definitely something you want to keep your eyes on. So let me just show you guys the board a little bit more. Very hefty weight, of course, since it is a fully aluminum case. There's the bottom right here. Honestly, just a very stunning looking keyboard. And of course, there's tons of color options as well, so that you can choose whatever fits you the best. So let me just plug this in really quick so we can see the LCD screen. There it is plugged in. All of the RGB turns on. The LCD screen lights up right there. And I'm actually not able to use this board right now because the switches I used are Hall effect switches that I had lying around from my Wooting 60HE build. So this board's actually not functional because I didn't use traditional mechanical keys. Like I said, the software-wise, this is compatible with QMK and VIA software, so you really have no worries in terms of that. It's extremely flexible, and you can really customize this to your heart's content. This is not a Hall effect board, so if you are looking for an absolute competitive gaming keyboard, this is not it. This is a enthusiast board for those who are looking for a premium keyboard experience with tons of customizability. And as you can see, it's an absolutely gorgeous board. So yeah, guys, it was pretty easy to build in. If you guys are looking to build this board yourself, just make sure you pick up a solid switch, and you can either buy a pre-lubed one or you can lube it yourself. And of course the stabilizers in here currently, again, I'm not doing a sound test just because this is a pre-production board, and the stabilizers that are currently in here are not the ones that are going to be in the full release. And also I'm using non-loop switches, so it doesn't really feel right for me to do a sound test right now because this is definitely not the full potential of the board that I have currently built here. So anyways, this is a solid base, and especially for the price, this isn't crazy expensive like some custom keyboards can get, and it looks absolutely incredible. As you guys can see here, tons of customizability options with a lot of add-ons. You guys can change out this module right here if you don't want the LCD screen. Like I said, you can do a bunch of different stuff. You have that magnetic badge that I showcased, just a bunch of different customization options that you can do to this keyboard. So huge shout out to Mellitrix for sending out the Zoom65 V3 for me to take a look at. But that's pretty much it, guys. That was the Mellitrix Zoom65 V3. If you guys like this video, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.